Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video we're going to kind of do, I guess, like a buy one get one free kind of thing. We are going to be doing my first impressions on the Sony 85mm lens, and at the same time we're going to be doing a little bit of product photography. So I'm going to be using my new 85mm 1.8 lens for a product test shoot and just talking through my initial thoughts using the lens for product photography. It will be the first time that I am using the lens, and you guys will know that about coming up to a year ago I switched from Canon to Sony, and ever since then I've actually been using just my Canon lenses on my Sony body with the MC11 adapter. And because of that, this is actually the first native Sony lens that I will be trying and B owning. So I'm really looking forward to kind of seeing how it fares compared to using my Canon lenses on my Sony body. You might have noticed some of the decorations in the background of my flat this morning, and that is because it is my birthday, which feels really weird because actually as I film this, it's not my birthday. My birthday is next week, but by the time you're watching this, this will be coming out on my birthday. So it is my birthday when you're watching this. And to celebrate, I have teamed up with Snap and Snap to offer you guys a chance to win some of the props that I will be using in this video. So they have very kindly sent me a ton of these really cool like white props, like all different shapes and stuff like that, to use with my product photography, and they are going to give you guys a chance to win one of their sets. Stay tuned to the end for more details on that. But let's talk about the shoot. I will be using this Sony 85mm 1.8. It's really light actually, like that's my first impression, is that it's very light in my hand compared to the 35mm that I usually use, etc. So the reason I wanted to invest in this lens in particular, aside from it being a Sony native lens, was the fact that I do portraits, I do weddings, I do products, and I wanted a lens that was going to be able to offer me something different from the arsenal of lenses that I already have, but also something that was versatile. And I'm really looking forward to using this when it comes to portraiture and weddings and all of that stuff. But I thought what I kind of want to see how it fares with first is product photography, because almost exclusively I shoot my product stuff with the Sigma 35mm. So I am going to be really interested to see how this different focal length is going to change my product photography. So in terms of the products, because this is just a test shoot, I have gone around my flat and taken a load of random items, and we're just going to be using the props that Snap and Snap sent me. We are going to be using my vinyl backdrops, which I've mentioned in another video, and we're going to be using random products as the hero products. So for example, I've got, that was really loud, I've got a tub of supplements like vitamins, I've got skincare, we've got hand cream, we've got like a whole load of Body Shop stuff that we can play around with, and we've also got Stephen Bartlett's most recent book. So hopefully we'll be able to do a few different kind of setups and show the versatility of this lens when it comes to styled shots and also to detail shots. So I am hoping to use mostly natural light for this, but we might use a speed light if the sun does go in like it just kind of did. Yeah, I will kind of, you'll see when I switch to using a speed light. I've got another camera set up on my right, is that right? Yeah, my right, to film my tabletop. So hopefully that will give you an insight on what I'm actually doing. But first of all, I'm just going to mount this onto my Sony a7 III and we're going to get started. Okay, so what I'm thinking of doing is we're going to start with the Body Shop set. So I'm just going to clear the table. And if we have a look at the Body Shop set, it's a Christmas set, so winter jasmine, greens, whites, reds, blacks. There's quite a few different colours that we can work with here, and different size items and even items with a little bit of texture, which is nice. We'll see how the 85 picks that up. So if I just move all of this out of the way, we'll set up a backdrop. So I'm going to start with setting up the white, and let's bring out the black as well. So we've got a white, a black and a grey here. I feel like this will look quite nice with this product, but just in case, I'm going to go and grab a green textured one, just in case we need something to break it up a little bit. So we've got this green kind of like emerald texture. It's two-sided, so different patterns that we're going to work with. So first of all, I'm going to set up the white, I think, and we'll just have a see what we're going to do. So we can probably just start off with getting some white background product shots here, just to kind of see how the lens deals with that. Oh, it helps if you put something on the backdrop other than your camera to weigh it down. Right, look, what else have I got? Yeah, so it does feel really light on the actual body as well, which is really nice. I don't know if it's because the 35 that I usually use is just generally quite heavy, or if it's because I have the MC11, but I always feel as though I'm not really fully getting the benefit of having such a small camera when I am using heavy lenses. So this definitely makes it feel a lot lighter. Wow, okay. I am not used to things being this zoomed in. I'm gonna have to stand up for this. This stuff actually smells amazing though. It's not sponsored by Body Shop, but I wish it was. So yeah, I do have to be quite far out from the subject with this lens, which obviously is to be expected compared to using the 35mm, which is obviously a lot wider of a lens. Okay, so first of all, that depth of field, so we're shooting at 3.2 there, and this lens does stop down to 1.8, but I've noticed that, you know, for 3.2, trying to get the logo in detail and everything, that is a lot too shallow, a lot more shallower. You know what I mean, than I need it to be. So we'll just bring that up to 5, see how that fares. Yeah, that's nice. That's a lot more in detail, really nice actually. So now I've kind of worked out the focusing distance. We'll set up a scene. So I'm going to bring in some of the snap and snap props now. We are probably going to go with some of the more circular ones because we have circular products, and we'll see what we can do with that. So what I'm doing here is just turning this lid so that it lines up with the Winter Jasmine type, and then I can get the logo and the type in one. And we're going to do the same thing with this little pot here. Now I'm going to take some shots of this bag, and we're going to see how well the lens does at picking up the textured detail. So at f9, it has picked up the detail quite well. It's quite sharp. I do feel as though the minimum focusing distance is a little bit of an issue when I want to get really close up into those details. But obviously, if we're not using kind of like a macro lens that has the capability to focus really close up, then that's always going to be an issue. Okay, we're going to switch that out and get the grey in here and see what we can do. And this time we're going to be looking at one product alone, just this swell box. We'll be playing around a little bit more with composition, seeing what we can do here. So So this is nice. It does make, the lens compression does make kind of the objects seem a little bit closer to each other when you're shooting at that angle. So just need to be mindful of that when arranging the products. For a really simple setup like that, the focusing distance was actually not too much of an issue because I really wanted that closer crop. So stepping back allowed me to kind of get that compression and really draw the image in and have all the items kind of feel a lot larger in scale, I guess. You'll probably see what I mean on the photos that I'm going to flash up on screen, but if you don't, drop me a comment and I'll try and explain myself a bit better. So I definitely feel as though shooting smaller products is obviously better with this lens. I feel as though having the smaller products fill up that space in the frame works a lot better than trying to somehow work out how you're going to fit in bigger products. What I'm really interested to see in this one is how well the lens is able to pick up the kind of depth and the different layers between like foreground, etc. So we're gonna have a go with that. Something really nice about this lens is because of the compression, you can use simple reflective surfaces such as a phone, and the depth of field is really nice to create that kind of reflection rather than it obviously being a phone. Okay, so everything that we've shot so far has been, quite small items, skincare stuff, etc. So we're going to move on to a bigger item. We're going to move on to a book. For reference, let me just show you how big this book is. I'm going to take out the bookmark. But so this is a book by Stephen Bartlett. I'm going for this book because we've already got set up the black backdrop, the white backdrop, we've got the white props, and yeah, I feel like we could do something with this. So let's just see how we can capture such a large item with a lens that has such a large focusing length. Let's give it a go. So what we're doing here is, obviously in product photography, it's got to serve a purpose. So having an image perfectly balanced from side to side doesn't always work, because you might need an image that is going to have text to the left or the right. So in this instance, we're going to be creating a leading line with the book, and we're going to be using the props to elongate that line, and then the white side, which will be on the right side of the image, that will be a great kind of area for any type, any information, etc. So I'm going to shoot a few details, and we're also going to try and attempt a flat lay. I feel like I'm probably going to have to stand on something with this lens, but that is part of the challenge of using this lens for everything we're doing in this video.
So that is the test done. Hopefully you will have seen me trying to shoot like quite a few different products with this lens to see kind of what it's really about. I will do a similar follow-up when it comes to wedding photography and portraiture, but I kind of thought that when it comes to this lens, portrait and wedding would be a little bit more self-explanatory than the product stuff. The product stuff I anticipated a struggle with because of the focusing distance, because of how cropped in it is. So for example, the flat lays, it's not, you know, the best lens to be using for flat lays, but it also can be done. I was able to do it, but then again, I would prefer to use something like a 35, something a bit wider for flat lays. That being said, it's a really light, a really fast and a really sharp lens. Great for details and actually really good for shooting small objects because of that compression and because of that close crop. It just makes those objects look a lot bigger, a lot more interesting. You can get into those details and you can build a scene around it a lot more effectively than maybe if you were using the 35, for example. This was just my initial thoughts on using the lens. If you have used an 85 for product photography, let me know how you got on with it. On to the giveaway that I promised. So Snap, who have kindly sent me all these props that I've been using today, these little white ones. So all you have to do is drop me a comment and let me know what would you use these for. So if you were to win today and you were to get a delivery of these props, what would you use it for? What products would you shoot? How would you use them? If you drop me a comment and let me know how you would use these products, drop me a comment and let me know how you would use these products. The most creative, the best, the most interesting response is going to win. So big shout out to my partners Snap for this giveaway. I will link them in the description alongside the products if you do want to have a look at the other things that they have in their range. They don't just sell white ones, they sell different colourful kind of ones, which I'm definitely going to get my hands on. But in the meantime, drop me a comment, let me know what you would use these for, and within the next 48 hours of this video going live, we will be picking one of those comments to receive one of the sets. So a massive thank you to you guys for watching. Hopefully this was a more interesting way of doing an initial thoughts, and you got a bit of product photography thrown in there too, which is something I know I haven't really been doing much on the channel as of late. If you also want to learn a bit more about my very simple product photography setup at home, I'm literally at a table by my desk that is, you know, it's not very big, we're not using a big space, we're not using fancy equipment here. I've got tons of videos already on my channel about that, so head over and check those out. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will